Hello everybody, welcome to the Raw Report, or if this isn't your first time, welcome back. I truly appreciate all of you guys who are subscribed, following, and doing all that great stuff. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you subscribe, like, comment. Let's get back into this video. Okay, so you guys, I'm super hyped, I'm super excited, and you guys already probably know why if you are a Fever fan or a Caitlin Clark fan. What they did and what they were able to secure right now with all these re-signings, because there's so much going on in the WNBA. When I talk about there's like a bunch of news in the WNBA, I don't even know how I'm going to be able to keep up with all of this, because I just got back in it and the WNBA was like, let's see if you really want this report. Get in on it, get it, because we're doing rapid fire. We know why a lot of this is rapid fire, because of course with the CBA and everything at the last minute coming together, they have now are squishing in everything for the start of the season. So let's go ahead and get into this video, which will be focusing on what the Fever have done. Absolutely crazy, amazing, very happy, no shocks really. Well, there are some, so let me not say that. First and foremost, congratulations to Kelsey Mitchell, who got the Supermax of $1.4 million. Well deserved, well earned. I mean, last year when Caitlin Clark was not able to play due to injuries, we know both her and Aaliyah Boston was a key factor in getting the actual Fever to the playoffs. Kelsey Mitchell had an all WNBA year. She was even in talks for MVP because that's how good she actually played. So she deserved it, very well good. And also signing Kelsey Mitchell, who is a threat and scorer, it is such a great thing because it is going to definitely help Caitlin Clark and take some pressure off of her having to be a scorer. You now have to decide if you want to defend Caitlin Clark and or Kelsey Mitchell, who can both go off. Like, come on. With that being said, that was like such a great thing. We're very happy. Yay. All right, and then we were waiting for the other signings of the core players. And if you guys don't know who the core players, to me, it is, of course, Caitlin Clark, who wasn't up for any type of signing. She's still on her rookie contract. You have then Aaliyah Boston, who is also on her rookie contract, who probably will get the Supermax next year. And then you had Lexie. And so we were trying to see what Lexie was going to do, and Lexie did not disappoint. Lexie has signed a multi-year deal, and she is going to come back here with the actual Fever, which is great because, as you guys all know, Lexie Hull had an amazing season last season, breakout season, in the sense that she was so much more dependent upon with missing Caitlin Clark, and she showed up and showed out to the point that a lot of teams really wanted her. They were really recruiting for her, but she stayed loyal to, of course, the Fever, and her and Caitlin Clark are really close friends, so it's really good to see that. Lexie adds so many different things. She's a great defensive player. We know we need that, especially on the wing. Still need some perimeter players, but that's neither here nor there. She is a great player. She can hit shots. She can do so many different things for you. But one of the things she really helps is when Caitlin Clark, who isn't strong defensively, doesn't want to take on a defensive assignment, Lexie Hull is that player who can do that. She's a great wing defender. We need her for that, so it's good. Then the signing that everybody who's a huge fan of the Indiana Fever were waiting for was Sophia Cunningham. Sophie is back. She will be back for at least one season right now. She did not sign a multi-year deal. She may be trying to get more money. Hey, you can't knock a player if they feel like they can get more and they want to see, weigh their options come next offseason. But she is here for this season, and they are building a really good team. Keeping Sophie is such an important factor. One of the things that stood out with Sophie was she was the enforcer. She was the physical player. She was the person who protected Caitlin Clark. She wasn't sitting up there scared or playing it safe or being politically correct. I know she has some political things, but that's not what I'm speaking about. I'm speaking of politically correct on the court. She was the one who was like, yeah, y'all not about to bully Caitlin Clark, when it seemed like a lot of players were, in fact, trying to do that in her rookie season. So to get somebody like her who is physical and keep her, very, very important. And also, let's not just act like she's only good with the physicality enforcer. She shot 43% from the three-point line. She's a shooter. She just unfortunately got injured herself. But Sophie can get you some buckets and get you some points too. So that's going to be very significant for her if she's coming off the bench. That gives the Fever so much depth. Okay. They also signed Dantas. They kept her, which was really good because she's a great stretch big. I I would rather have kept her younger player over Howard, who in fact did leave during the free agency, which is, I'm not hurt. I mean, I'm not saying she was a good player, nothing against Howard, just I'm not mad that Natasha is gone. I'm okay with her being gone. I'm really liking what they did with keeping Dantas. She's a younger player. She is good for her physicality. She can give you some defense, but she is also a shooter where she can take defenders out of the paint. So I think keeping her is going to not only help, again, it's helping with the spacing, but overall it's going to help Caitlin Clark, which this team, if you guys weren't aware, their re-signings and who they signed was to help Caitlin Clark, because that's what you do when you have a superstar player such as Caitlin Clark. You play to their strengths. You do not get rid of them. You do not give up on them. You play and you build around them. And that's what the Fever are doing. Now, here's the big thing. Here's the things that I don't know what I was expecting, who would sign and things like that. But my gosh, they signed Tasha Harris, who is coming from the Dallas Wings. She's a good point guard. She's a great ball handler. She will be exactly what you need for Caitlin Clark, either coming off the bench and being a backup point guard, or even if they're in the game, she's going to then allow Caitlin Clark to play off ball more. So this is going to be a very strong suit for Caitlin, because that's what she needs. Caitlin is best playmaking, but I don't want Caitlin to always have to have the ball in her hand, and that is where she creates a lot of turnovers, because there's a lot of pressure and she's constantly handling the ball with little to no help. Now, of course, we know Kelsey Mitchell helped too, but you guys know overall the offense is ran through Caitlin Clark. So to have somebody that can come in and relieve her to not have to play the full game, that is what we want with Tasha Harris. Now, that wasn't even the biggest signing. The biggest signing was Mo Billings, aka Monique Billings. Oh my gosh, they got her from the Valkyries. I did not see this coming, but oh my gosh, I am so happy. You could see the chemistry with her and Caitlin when they were playing FIBA basketball for the USA. The girl is a hooper. Not only is she a hooper, she's a runner. She's a runner who will run to the basket. Now, if you guys know Caitlin Clark's style, Caitlin Clark is a pass-first type of point guard. I know she's a logo three and things like that, but Caitlin Clark is a type of player who, if you get in those lanes and you run the floor, she will reward you by passing you the ball. And that's what Billings did. You can see the chemistry, you can see what they did, and it was an amazing thing to actually witness during the FIBA game. So the fact that they got her, not only is she she can go great inside, she's also a great rebounder, she's a great defender, and she's physical. She also sets a good time for screens, so you can do a lot more pick and rolls. That's something that also Caitlin likes doing with Aaliyah Boston, but now you have different options, again, adding to the depth of the team. That is huge when you're talking about them competing and being contenders with the other top teams in the actual WNBA. So signing her was a huge deal. Don't downplay that, because that was one of the biggest signings for the Fever. Also, you have that they got rid of Christy Wallace, she was lost in the expansion draft. I think we're okay from what they've already signed. They still have some spots still open, but they kept the players that we really wanted. But more importantly, the Fever understood the assignment. Somebody thank the Fever, because they understood what they needed to do. They not only got Caitlin some physical defending players who will help her, especially when teams try to attack her and things like that. They got her some shooters. When Caitlin is driving the lane or they're trying to decide if they're going to, go after Caitlin Clark or Kelsey Mitchell, they can pass it out to Lexie and or Sophie, who can hit shots. That's going to be very key for the actual Fever. Sorry for the blunder while I was like, boo. But it's a good thing, because they are going to help with the spacing. And then you have some physical bigs in the inside that are going to be able to get those easy passes from Caitlin Clark, lay it up. And yeah, that's going to make the Fever so much more of a threat. So it is going to be a great year for the Fever, as long as everybody stays healthy. You're talking about giving Caitlin Clark the type of players she needs, the type of players that like to run the floor, the type of bigs that can stretch but also get in the lanes, that can get her passes and things of that nature. The Fever look good. Now, there is some things that they still think they need to worry about. They still need some better wing defenders, because we know Caitlin Clark is not as bad as everybody makes on the defensive end, but she's not a strong defender. I think she's going, because she's a perfectionist, she's going to get better at that. So hopefully she does. But with all these signings, and they still have some, I think 3 spots left on that roster, there's still a chance that they can get some players that fills those voids. But overall, the Fever understood what they needed to do to build to enhance Caitlin Clark. But these moves that they made, it takes a lot of pressure off of her. It doesn't mean that she has to be the full ball handler. And with keeping Kelsey Mitchell and her scoring ability, you have then 2 threats. Like if you want to sit there and say, yeah, we'll double Caitlin Clark and so she can't get a logo 3 off, you then got to worry about Kelsey Mitchell. Then you got players who can intertwine into the lineup off the bench, who can hit and score and do a lot of different things. They're physical, their scores, they are what she needs. The spacing is going to be great for the Indiana Fever and what Caitlin likes. And also it's going to offer her the ability to play make without all the pressure being on her. And they also kind of get some defenders. I think they need, like I said, they think they need another one who can kind of hide Caitlin's flaws and her defense. But overall, the Fever were not playing. And they kept their core girls, and I think that's great. And also, they kept fan favorites, which you guys know is Sophie and Lexie Hull and Caitlin Clark. People really love that trio, so I think it's really cool. And then, you know, you got, of course, Aaliyah Boston, which I didn't discuss a lot in this video because she wasn't re-signing or anything like that. But Aaliyah Boston is there. And then you have, of course, Kelsey Mitchell. Those were the players I didn't want to lose. And then I did not think Mo Billings would be here too, so yeah, it's about to be a great year to be a Fever fan. Of course, as long as everybody stays healthy. Mark my words, they will be the team to beat. And I know that a lot of people like to hate and say, oh, the Fever were so much better without Caitlin Clark. Y'all don't know ball, but whatever. If that makes you feel better, say it to yourself. But this year, with adding the bigs that they have, and then also having Caitlin Clark and all these threats on the floor who can shoot, the Fever are giving themselves a chance to be contenders. And that is really going to look good for Caitlin Clark to be a champion. And I cannot wait, because the moment that happens, all you haters will hear me. Just playing. Anyways, with that being said, Fever, great job for retaining the players that everybody really wanted, the core players, and then also keeping Sophie and things of that nature. Because a lot of things are changing with the CBA and the cap. You guys, every team has $7 million. Max deals. It's a lot going on. With that being said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave me my comments below. Are you guys excited? I mean, if you're a Fever fan or a Caitlin fan, pardon me, you know that these are great signings, and this is a good sign as far as what is to come for the future. And they are in a win now, ready to go mode. And I think Caitlin Clark, who they actually spoke with, let them know who she wanted to keep. And the girl is a hooper's hooper. So she knew what she needed, and the Fever and their ownership delivered. Sky, take notes. That's what you need to do. We will talk about in my next video the Sky, because wow, when I thought like, oh, they're going to rebuild, they're going to do this and do that, they did some very sneaky signings, especially with my girl Rakia. Y'all can see her behind me. Love her down. So I'm going to be speaking on all the rest of the league signing, but I wanted to do a dedicated video to the Fever, because y'all know I love Caitlin. Y'all know how I feel about it. And I really was impressed by their moves. But I'm also impressed by what the Atlanta Dream did with acquiring Angel Reese. I'm also very much impressed with the Sky done. And then we know aces are the aces. I'm going to get into that in the next video. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you guys. Please make sure you like, subscribe if you haven't already done it. And then again, if you like the content, hype it. I guess it helps. I'm still getting back in the groove of this, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.